This is an epic tale of heroism. You won't want to miss a second of this amazing adventure. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an unforgettable ride. Once upon a time, in the far future, technology had advanced to unimaginable levels. Among these advancements were machines capable of manipulating time itself. However, these machines were incredibly complex and dangerous to operate, and only the most skilled engineers could hope to master them. One such engineer was Malik, a brilliant but troubled scientist who became obsessed with the idea of controlling time. He believed that he was destined to be a great leader, and that he could use his powers over time to create a better world. But his methods were ruthless, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals, even if it meant sacrificing countless lives. Driven by his desire for power, Malik delved deeper and deeper into the mysteries of time travel, experimenting with portals that could rip through the fabric of reality and bring objects or even living beings from different time periods to the present. His goal was to create an army of powerful warriors from the distant future, who would do his bidding and help him reshape the world according to his will. However, as Malik approached his goal, he began to realize that he had unleashed something far more powerful than he could have ever imagined. In his quest to control time, he had accidentally opened the door to chaos and destruction, and the future he had sought to control was now coming for him. Malik stood in his laboratory, a maniacal grin spreading across his face. Around him, swirling energy filled the air, forming a swirling vortex that seemed to consume everything in its path. This was the culmination of years of research, a machine that could manipulate the very fabric of time itself. With a flick of a switch, Malik activated the machine and the portal surged with energy. Suddenly, a massive roar echoed through the lab, and a hulking figure emerged from the portal, shaking the foundations of the building. It was a creature unlike anything Malik had ever seen before, a grotesque monstrosity with scales, armor, and glowing red eyes. As the creature took its first steps into Malik's lab, he could feel his heart pounding in his chest. He had unleashed something truly terrifying into the world, a creature so powerful that it could destroy everything in its path. Yet despite his fear, Malik knew that he had created something truly special. This creature was the key to his plans for domination, and he would do whatever it took to control it. But as Malik approached the creature, he realized that he had made a terrible mistake. The creature was not under his control. It was a force of nature, a whirlwind of destruction that would stop at nothing to achieve its goals. Malik had unleashed a beast, and now he had to find a way to stop it before it destroyed everything he had ever known. Before he could react, the beast lunged at him, its powerful jaws snapping shut just inches from his face. Malik stumbled back, his mind racing. He had to find a way to control this creature, to make it his own. But how? As the beast circled him, sizing him up like a predator, eyeing its prey, Malik noticed something. The creature was intelligent, almost eerily so. It wasn't just a mindless killing machine. It had thoughts, plans, and it was calculating its next move. Suddenly, Malik had an idea. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device, a prototype for a neural interface that he had been working on. It was risky, but he had to try. With steady hands, he attached the device to the beast's head and activated it. The creature roared in pain as the device sent signals to its brain, but Malik pressed on. He had to make contact, to communicate, and then, miraculously, it happened. The beast's eyes flickered with recognition, and it responded to his commands. To his surprise, the beast was actually a highly intelligent species of reptile that had evolved over millions of years. It was a hunter, a predator that thrived on danger and excitement, and it had been drawn to Malik's lab by the energy signature of the portal. But now that it was here, Malik knew he could use its intelligence against it. He offered the beast a deal. he would allow it to roam free in exchange for its service, promising it a grand adventure and untold power. And the beast, intrigued by the offer and sensing Malik's own power, agreed. The beast wasted no time in showing what it could do. It wreaked havoc on the city, destroying buildings and causing widespread panic. People fled in terror as the beast rampaged through the streets, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. But Malik was unfazed. He watched with amusement as the beast caused chaos, knowing that it was all part of his plan. He had unleashed a monster, but now he would control it, using its raw power to achieve his own goals. As the days passed, the beast grew more powerful, its strength and intelligence increasing with each passing moment. Malik reveled in its power, feeling as though he was invincible, but he didn't realize that the beast was growing restless, that it was becoming bored of his petty games. The beast wanted more, much more, and it wasn't afraid to take it. One day, the beast turned on Malik, its eyes blazing with anger. Malik was horrified. He had unleashed something he couldn't control, and now he had to fight for his life. But the beast was too powerful. It tore through his defenses, leaving him battered and broken. As it prepared for the final blow, Malik could only watch in terror, knowing that he had met his match. But just as the beast was about to deliver the killing blow, a new presence appeared. A portal shimmered into existence, and a warrior stepped through, his eyes blazing with determination. "I've come for you, beast," the warrior said, his voice echoing with power. "Your rampage ends here," the beast snarled. But the warrior was undeterred. He charged forward, his blade flashing in the sunlight. The two battled fiercely, their movements blurring as they exchanged blow after blow. As the battle raged on, the warrior began to gain the upper hand. He was more experienced, more skilled, and the beast was tiring. The warrior pressed his attack, pushing the beast to its limits. And finally, with one decisive stroke, he struck down the beast, ending its reign of terror once and for all. But as the dust settled, the warrior turned to face Malik, his eyes flashing with anger. "You unleashed this monster on the world," he said, his voice shaking with rage, "and now you will face the consequences." The warrior wasted no time in bringing Malik to justice. He dragged him before a tribunal of elders who had the power to decide his fate. Malik tried to explain his side of the story, but the elders were unmoved. They saw what he had done, and they knew that he had to be punished. In the end, Malik was banished from the city, forever forbidden from using the portal again. He was cast out into the wilderness, alone and broken, to face whatever fate awaited him. As the sun set on the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Malik stumbled through the forest, his body aching and his mind racing. He had lost everything: his power, his purpose, his very identity. He was nothing more than a broken man, a shadow of his former self. But as he walked, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him, lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. Fear gnawed at his heart as it quickened his pace, trying to put as much distance between himself and the city as possible. Suddenly, he heard a noise, a twig snapping, a rustle in the bushes. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. Was it the beast? Had it somehow survived the warrior's attack and come for him? Or was it something else? Something even more sinister. With trembling hands, he reached for the small device in his pocket, the prototype neural interface that he had used to control the beast. It was his only hope now, his only chance of survival. He had to call for help, reach out to someone who could protect him from whatever was out there in the darkness. But as he pressed the button, a cold realization washed over him. The device was damaged, destroyed during the battle. It was useless now, a hollowed-out shell of its former self. He was alone, completely alone, with no one to help him, no one to turn to. Terror gripped him as he broke into a run, stumbling over roots and rocks, crashing through the underbrush. But it was no use. Whatever was out there was faster, more agile. He could hear its heavy footsteps pounding the earth, getting closer with every passing moment. And then he saw it, emerging from the darkness like a nightmare made real. It was the beast, its eyes blazing with fury, its teeth bared in a snarl. It had found him. Malik turned and ran, desperation fueling his every step. But he knew he couldn't outrun the beast forever. He had to make a stand, a final defiant gesture against the monster he had unleashed. He stumbled out into a clearing and turned to face the beast, his heart pounding in his chest. He was trapped, cornered by the creature he had created. There was nowhere left to run, nowhere to hide. The beast lunged at him, its claws extended, ready to rip him to shreds. But in that moment of terror, Malik felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. He had unleashed this monster on the world, and now he would face the consequences. As the beast closed in, he closed his eyes, bracing for the end. But it never came. Instead, he heard a roar, a mighty roar that shook the very foundations of the earth. Slowly, he opened his eyes and saw the most incredible sight. The warrior stood before him, his blade raised high, deflecting the beast's attacks with ease. He was a whirlwind of motion, his sword flashing in the moonlight as he fought to protect Malik. With renewed hope, Malik scrambled to his feet and ran for cover. He had to get out of the clearing, away from the danger, and find somewhere safe to hide. But as he turned to flee, he saw something that made him freeze in his tracks. The beast was gaining the upper hand. The warrior was tiring, his movements becoming slower, his breaths heavier. Realizing that he couldn't just stand by and watch, Malik hesitated for a moment, torn between his desire for safety and his sense of responsibility. But in the end, he knew he had to do something. He might have unleashed this monster on the world, but he wasn't willing to let it destroy everything in its path, including the life of the one person who had come to save him. Taking a deep breath, Malik turned and ran back towards the clearing, his heart pounding in his chest. He had to do something, anything to help the warrior, to give him a chance to win the fight. As he raced through the trees, adrenaline pumping through his veins, he remembered the device, the neural interface he had used to control the beast. It was damaged. Yes, but maybe, just maybe, he could fix it. He pushed through the underbrush, ignoring the scratches and cuts that ripped at his clothes, his mind focused on the task at hand. If he could repair the device, if he could call for help, maybe they could still win this fight. And then he saw it, a small clearing bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, and in the center of the clearing, a small group of huts made of woven branches and leaves. Could this be it? Could this be the place where he could turn the tide of battle? Hope surged through him as he burst into the clearing and stumbled towards the nearest hut. He had to get to the device, repair it, send out a signal for help. As he reached for the interface, his fingers trembling with urgency, he realized he wasn't alone. A group of figures emerged from the shadows, their eyes fixed on him. They were the guardians of this forest, protectors of the balance between humans and the natural world, and they were here to decide his fate. The Monstrous Beast had the upper hand, each swing of his claws forcing the warrior to the ground. The warrior's armor cracked, his energy drained. Malik, desperate, scrambled to repair the shattered control device, his trembling hands frantically connecting wires. Summoning his last strength, the warrior rolled to his side, narrowly avoiding the beast's final strike. In one swift motion, he hurled his plasma blade at the beast. The blade sliced through the beast while Malik was watching, destroying the beast in a shower of sparks. A surge of energy exploded, crackling like thunder through the forest. The beast roared a sound that echoed across time, then fell, his massive body crashing to the ground, shaking the earth beneath him. Malik used his device one more time to open the last portal he would ever try over the fallen body of the beast. Then the portal swallowed the fallen beast in and away as the portal sealed shut. The forest calmed, the skies cleared, the battle was over. The beast had fallen, the villain was captured, and the warrior returned to his own time. Malik learned that power gained through control is never true power. He believed he could bend nature, time, and life to his will. He thought that by summoning a beast and forcing it to obey, he would become unstoppable. But in the end, he realized that the more you try to control others, the more you lose control over yourself. Power built on fear always turns back against its master. A creature, no matter how dangerous, has a will, and that will can fight back. I hope you enjoyed the story today. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you again in another epic story of our timeless tales.